Yewo Farm CEOs. Welcome back. My name is Gilbert Mwale, and it's a great pleasure to be connecting with us again. And I just like I'd just like to share something interesting that I've noticed, as I work with, different clients and different types of people throughout life, is that, there are a few sayings I want to throw out to us. One of them is that people like saying, I'm a student of life. For me, I'm a student in life. I usually learn a lot of lessons, because I'm a spiritual person from the angle, just reading the Word of God and just, going through the motions, being led by God to take certain actions. But I want to encourage us as farm CEOs that you need to be a student in life. You need to allow yourself to grow. You need to allow yourself to learn more different things on what you can do business wise, on how you can actually be able to run your business better, and as well as also, make profit out of your farm. Some of us have gone through so much traumatic situations with our employees, and as well as also with some of the, just how things have gone. For example, I had a situation where back in the days with a very good friend of mine, what we decided to do was get into tomato. That is about 2008, about there. We decided to plant tomatoes, a very good piece of land. And this was tomatoes that we had gotten from Amiran, pretty excited. We, thought to say, if we grow these tomatoes, that was roughly about September, October there. By the time it is Christmas time, we will have a bumper harvest and we will be able to actually make a killing for ourselves, and then see how, what other things we're going to get with the money from there. So we worked so hard. I remember at the farm where we were living in Lilai, there was just a hand pump. So we actually, would help one another out, literally with this encouragement at the back of our minds. We were much younger. We didn't know what I know now. We were encouraging one another. Look, when we get these tomatoes right, we're going to make a lot of money. To cut a story short, with all the hard work that we did, watering those almost about 30 lines, 28 to 30 lines, of maybe I would say those were roughly about 40 meters, if I haven't mistaken. Yeah, about 40 meters, 40-meter lines. Would water them out by ourselves. And one of the things that was interesting about this is that when we reached the end, we were targeting, one of the markets near Lilai. And as soon as we harvested, we went to that market in an area called Jack Compound, where there's a market there. We took our boxes only to find that these people had actually started throwing away tomatoes because they were having them in huge numbers, and they, didn't have anything to do with them because they all had a lot of demand and supply. So we were too many of us supplying them, and they could no longer take anything from us. So they were offering us as low as 25 kwacha for the box. And then when we thought about it, we were like, wow, looking at how much work we have put into these boxes, there's no way we are selling them at that much. We just went back home, decided to, distribute them to relatives. Some of them used them at home for cooking, and that was it. And that was the loss that we had. And I'm pretty sure you have lost far more than that, have had bigger devastations, and I know that that is the case. But let not these lessons, let not this a kind of experience teach you to stop learning. Never stop trying to learn because of bad experiences. Some people like saying, experience is a good teacher. Until one of my closest friends, Elton, actually, corrected that in my head, some 10 years ago. And this is why I'm still, running a business today, is that he simply told me to say, my friend, don't let bad experiences stop you from actually, going out and trying again. And so today I want to tell that to most of the farm, CEOs out there who have had bad experiences. You have lost everything that you had due to different reasons. Some of them could be negligence at the farm, and you're telling yourself, maybe there's no way I can actually make money. One of my clients during the masterclass actually said that her and her group had concluded that, farming, there's no way you can make money from farming. It is just a hobby. And I would like to say that is not true. You can actually make quite a lot of money from farming, and this is something we've been discussing here for quite a while, and we'll continue talking about it on how you can be able to actually achieve that. But you obviously need the right vision, you need the right team that is working on your things on your farm. So please remember this: be a student in life. Let experience not teach you to stop learning, but let it encourage you to learn another better way of doing that same thing. So think about other ways on how you could have done this, and calibrate, change that, and make sure that you actually document some of the results that you get so that you can learn. Now, on the same note of learning and growing as a farm CEO, I would like to share something a little bit more that you'll find in the next video concerning some of the challenges that people have had. Thank you.